Hi everyone, we've got a little video today where I'm out on a bike and it's not my bike. Well, I suppose it's my bike now. I've been sent it by Himiway and it's a Himiway Cruiser. Now it is an electric assist pedal cycle. Now the reason why I've agreed to do this, and it is a sponsored video, effectively they've sent me this bike for nothing. Why I've agreed to do this is because it's got a throttle. And I actually didn't realise that this was legal. So in today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of explaining about the legalities behind electric assisted bikes with the throttle. Now that's the benefit of the electrical assistance. You can get up and out quite quick, and this Himiway is particularly sprightly. I'm just going to turn the settings down a little bit. Okay, so what have we got? We've got a 250 watt electrical assisted bicycle. It's quite heavy. It's I think it weighs best part of even up to 40 kilograms, but it's got quite a punch to it. It's got 80 newton meters of torque, and as you've seen there, as I was doing that right turn, allows me to position my bike quite quickly where I want to go. You can change all the levels of assistance. I've got mine set. I've changed a few of the settings. I've got 9 different levels of adjustment on this. But it's a big bike. It's got big fat tyres. It's got a rack on the back which you can use to carry whatever you like. And honestly, I'm also going to do a little bit of thinking as well on if you were commuting. This type of bike would be an absolute ideal go-to. If you're doing maybe 8 to 10 miles into work. Now I'm just using the throttle at this point, and as you can see I'm not pedaling, but this throttle allows you to go up to 6 kilometers an hour. It might be different, and I think it is different. I'm just going to get past this lorry so we can hear what we're doing. So yeah, it might be different in different countries around the world, but in the UK and Europe, these throttles, they are limited to 6 kilometers an hour, and this aids with mobility. It also aids with this particular bike, and here we go again. Feet are just still on the pedals. It also aids with this bike as well to travel slowly, because like I said, it is a big, heavy thing. And I didn't realise that this was the case. I thought anything with a throttle in the UK was illegal. Now, I'm not saying the bikes that maybe do 30 miles an hour in traffic and they keep up with you when you're in your motor vehicle, they're not illegal. There is a limit to the speed that electrically assisted pedal cycles can get up to. You have to have a pedaling element for assistance in the UK, which is exactly what I'm again doing now. And this maxes out at 15.5 miles an hour. So anything above that, the electrical assistance just literally stops and you're on your own. But this is the first time I've been out on this bike. I've got it all set up. I did have a quick ride round my cul-de-sac, if I was honest, just to see what it's like, but it is pretty shifty. The price wise as well is really competitive, I think, compared to, I bought a giant bicycle, a 29-inch wheel mountain bike that does, oops, we've got a big dog against a little dog. My bet's on the one on the left is going to win that fight. Morning, buddy. So, give this one a fair bit of room. Morning, mate. So yeah, I think it's pretty decent value. Now, I'm just going to get myself out into traffic. I'm going to turn the wick up a little bit, and I am going to go round and just into the right turn box area. We're all good. So as you can see, I've only turned the settings up to 4 there. They're probably about halfway, but it does half give you a fair bit of assistance. So moving off, you can go with the throttle, and then the moment you pedal, you're off and away. It was quite heavy to start off there with the pedals on their own. I am in a pretty high gear though, so I'm sure I should have and could have changed to a lower gear. But even here, gee whiz, I'm on the 4th level, and I'm already doing the maximum speed of 50.5 miles an hour, and there's literally very little effort. So going back to what I was saying about the mobility side of things, if slow down, make sure this one's going to see me. So going back to this one, so the mobility side of things, good job I did slow down, wasn't it? These unobservant motorists, but anyway, but yeah, the pedal assist, it does not give you a decent shove. So if you're, I'm going to turn that down. It's too hot through this for me. You need a little bit. I would like a little bit of a workout. I am trying to lose a little bit of weight, and you can do that with this bike. You can turn it all the way off, but honestly, all the way off. In fact, I'm going to turn this all the way off now. I'm in top gear. Let's change the gears. Let's put it down a gear. It's got Shimano gear set on it. It's got pretty decent kit on it as well. It's got a front suspension forks, lockout and rebound on them. It's got some nice comfy grips. It's got not hydraulic brakes, but it's got mechanical disc brakes front and back. One thing that did but it surprised me a little was the brakes the opposite way round. The one on the left hand side is the front, and the one on the right hand side is the back. I'm just going to give these guys a little bit of room. Okay, so this is me pedaling just without any assistance. Yeah, we can still do some decent speeds, but it does take a fair bit more effort because we've got 40 kilograms of bike. So you can get your workout with it as well. Comfort wise, it's lovely. It's got a big comfortable seat, doesn't cut you in two. The big tyres, honestly, they're pretty good over the bumps. You have a go on the grass. So let's turn the assistance up. I'm only going to go on the edge. I'm not going to tear it up. Honestly, an absolute piece of cake. So with the big tyres, you can do all sorts of stuff with it, I'm suspecting. So it's a good choice for me. The brakes are pretty good. They're not the most powerful things, but they're pretty good. Let's just get myself out on the road. Okay, so let's go and see what it's like in traffic. I'm going to turn the wick up a little just to make sure I've got enough power, because like I said, this one's coming up quite quick behind. I'm just going to slow them down. I do have some decent lights front and back, and I think these are condition of these electrical assist bikes with the throttle as well. And the lights are pretty powerful. They just literally work off the battery, so you don't need to charge them up, which is all good. Charging time, I did put this on a little bit of a charge last night. I didn't fancy leaving it overnight. I think that's something that a lot of people can be mindful of. If I was honest, I'm just going to manage this situation. Yeah, we're all okay. This one behind, although they did come up quick, is giving me a little bit of space. Are they going to come past now? It gave me a reasonable amount of room, not too bad. But yeah, I don't fancy ever leaving my Lecky bike on charge overnight. I like to keep an eye on them. There's been a spate of fires with these things as well, so if you do get one, just be mindful of that also. So I'm totally unfit at the moment. Like I've already alluded to, I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. I've lost probably about a stone since Christmas. But it's time to get fit again. Now, I could do with this pedal assistance, to be honest, to help me get back to where I want to be. But then you can still go off and do the miles in it that you need to do. Apparently I can't verify this yet because I've not used it to its full extent, but apparently there's a up to 60-mile range on pedal assist. Now, that's pretty good going, if you ask me. That would suit, honestly, I would thought 80-90% of people's commute. So we have to get away from this car-centric thinking. I've always said, that's a nice overtake, thank you. I'm just going to give them a little bit more room. Nice overtake also. SUVs doing some nice things, that's all right. But yeah, we've got to get away from this car-centric way of thinking. There's too many cars on the road. We're all... Have you seen me? Yep, all good. We all take these cars for granted, where we can probably all take shorter journeys, probably by bicycle, but I get it. The danger out on the road is pretty high, but it's only education of everyone that's going to make this better. I'm not going to go into the discussion about cycling infrastructure today, but I am going to try and make my way all the way into Liverpool, all the way into town. What's this one doing behind? Okay, doing the left turn. I'm not going to use the cycle area, I'm going to use the road. Oh, it's shot off there, and that's something that you do have to be careful of because it is so powerful. You give it a little pedal and then suddenly, as you found out there, it's off. So yeah, I've got to be careful with it. So I'm out in a position outside of the door. It's really important. I'm still okay with vehicles coming past me. That one gave me as much space as they could. Just going to turn the assistance up one more. We're back up to 4, and I am going to do a right turn at the roundabout. So when's best to do it? Got a right signal on for the lorry. He's let me go. Thank you, buddy. No problems. And I'll get another right signal. Stay positive in the middle of your lane. We are doing a roundabout and we could go from any lane, but I'm not going to risk that. And again, I'm always trying to plan a gap. Pedal assistance is really useful. There you go. I'm probably faster accelerating than some of the cars there, and I'm okay to head off to the left. So as you can see, the pedal assistance, it puts less onus on you doing the work and gives you a little bit of a head start, which I think is a good safety aspect of these electric bikes. So Liverpool's roads are absolutely awful. We've got my 360 cam out in front, which will be nice and smooth, or should be nice and smooth, but we've got my Technologic camera on the top of my head, the DC1 front and back. It's my go-to. I know some people have said about the placement of it on top of your head. Totally get it. So it just fell off. I heard something there. I hope it's not one of my cameras. No, I'm good. Panicked there for a second. It must have been something in the road. But yeah, we've got the DC1 on top of my head. And we've got Technologic's latest, the HC1 at the back. It's, there's Steve. Yeah, it's Technologic's latest camera. They've developed it themselves. It's 2K footage, so the footage, never tested it to be honest, out in this environment, so it was ideal today. This is a pre-production camera I've got as well. I did have a couple of little issues with it as well. I do struggle getting the memory card out, and the rubber gasket that surrounds it to keep it watertight, sort of like, well, the little rubber tag that keeps it mounted to the camera did break, so I've had to just literally push this rubber gasket on. But we'll see what the camera's like. It's brilliant, it's really light. I think it's only 40 odd grams, and if you're after this weight saving all the time, it's a great little camera. Check it out, all the links are in the description, and if you use my code AshleyNeil, you get a further 5% discount. I'd like to say thanks to everyone who has supported the channel by buying a dash cam, or like we said, I've got to go through that one. Yeah, the car behind came through as well. So thanks to everyone who has supported the channel with purchasing one of these dash cameras or cycle mounts. You can use them for horses as well. It allows me to minimize the integrations that are due. At the end of the day, I'm doing this more and more full time now. I've got to earn money doing it. So it's a big help, and I thank you all for your support. Let's just go back to what happened at that set of lights. Amber light means stop unless it's unsafe. That decision of safety changes massively with bicycles. So sometimes if we see cycles going through, you shouldn't go through on a red, but honestly I'd rather go through on a red than get clattered in to the back, but some do use it as an excuse. I am going to filter down the side. No, I'm not. Don't go and put yourself next to any issues. Now this guy should hold back and let me go, but I'm not risking it. It's as simple as that. The rules, honestly, people don't know them. We can tell that by some of the comments and some of the things that go on the channel. But that's the absolute classic situation, that there's certain elements of the cycling community who would just blast down that inside and increase risk. It's not held me up at all. I'm safe, I'm still alive, and there's no aggro. And there's many cyclists out there who can learn from that little incident. People say, you've got no qualifications. Well, if I can fully talk through a student in a learner car through the city centre in a 2-ton metal box and keep everyone safe, I can keep myself safe if I'm totally in control on a bicycle. And I will like to add as well that the situation regarding qualifications is changing. I'm not telling you what I'm doing on a bike, but it's already in place. So what am I doing? 15 miles an hour. It's so easy to get up to the maximum speed of this thing. I have seen a few videos in America where people change it, and it's increasable. I'm not saying you do that. That would then make this a motorbike. But there's plenty of pace with it. I've come up this road because it's honestly, it's one of the worst roads for honestly road surface and busyness as well. Just going to see how this thing copes up here. It's a bit of a slope as well. I've got to get myself out around this park one. need to be outside the door as well. Yeah, well, should I overtake the van? Don't be silly. Am I going to go to the front of the queue? No, I'm absolutely not. I'm even going to hold this junction back as well. Big lorry behind's all good. So, although I can filter down the side, what is that really going to do? What's it going to gain? It's going to gain me another, what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then all that's going to happen then, I need to create a little bit of space because this thing's zoomy. So yeah, all it's going to do is then, honestly, I'm not trying to just mollycoddle drivers and just give them their way. That's not what it's all about. It's all about sharing the roads. They're going to be a little bit faster than me, especially up this hill, even though we're all going to wait at the next set of lights. But honestly, why go pushing past? If I'd pushed past to the front of that queue at the temporary lights, where would it be now? Be in exactly the same spot, and they would have just had to have overtaken me. So I'm doing the same. Lorry's all good. I can hear him. He's slowing down nicely. And he's been good as gold. So rather than forcing through and put himself into risk, stay in the middle of your lane. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. So here we go. Throttle to move off. It's lovely and gentle as well. And then as soon as the pedal assist kicks in, honestly, it zooms. It goes. Check everywhere. You can't trust anyone on the road. Now I'm just going to turn the notch up to 5, and in fact I'm on 6 now. So this is me doing, gee whiz, it's doing 18 miles an hour. That's with pedal assist as well. I'm just going to give this fella a chance to come past if he wants. I personally don't see the point of coming past there, to be honest, because, well, I can't just nip up this side, so this sort of like goes against what I've just said, but just be careful in front of the lorry again. I am going to filter because of the queue. So let's have a little look at me doing this. I'm going to turn it down a wick or two. Is the crossing okay both sides? Can you see out of this junction to the left hand side? Now they're all moving, so I am going to tuck it back in. Not going to go past the Mercedes, take up the position in the middle of the lane. So I've been able to make a little bit of progress up the road, which is okay. Let's get on with it now. So even when filtering, you've got to take extra care. Really important. This bike doesn't half go though as well. 40 kilograms this thing is. Slow a little bit now, the space is limited. Buses are people magnets. Got to be ready to slow. And don't forget, we've got this extra weight and the brakes aren't honestly as powerful as the brakes on my bike. I'm just going to turn this down. Now, wow, that was on 7. No wonder it was bombing away. You don't have to do much if you want to make some progress. So this commute, has she seen me? Nope. That's okay, I'll look after her. So if you really want to make some progress on your commute, it's not an issue. I honestly don't think if I'd have travelled this route, or most of this route, because it came through the cemetery, but if I'd have travelled this route in the car, would I have been here any quicker? Not sure it would have been. Okay, so how close are people behind? Staying central, we're all good. Little check everywhere. No bothers, give people a chance to overtake if they need to. We've got a cycle area. Like I said, I'm not getting into this discussion today, but these cycle areas, the painted ones for me, what a waste of time. They don't make anything any safer, and the little thing for me, when cycling infrastructure changes and when it stops, you've still got to mix it with other road users, and if you haven't got that ability, you're then going to be put in danger. It's as simple as that. So, what's the footage like on the rear cam? I honestly don't know what it's like. I've got no idea, but we will see. You've got to come around this grid. Like I said, Liverpool's roads are terrible, but then again, if you're stuck in the cycle area and then there's a grid that's half collapsed, what's going to go on? Well, you've got to go around it, but cars aren't expecting you to do that because you've got to stay in the cycle lane. No, you haven't. Absolutely not. So, let's see what's what. Turn the, I've learned to do this, to turn the levels down, because it doesn't half shoot off with you. 2's quite hard work to get going. For me, I think 3 is probably the decent option for my level of fitness at the minute, if I'm just in a situation like that. So, how long have we done? We've done 5 miles. You can change the display. You can look at your trip. You can have max speed. You can do, there's all sorts with it, to be honest. Everything that you need. You don't need to have your phone out. And the seat's lovely and comfortable. Gear shifters, they're not quite at the level and quality that I've got on my giant e-bike, but I wouldn't expect them to be. But honestly, comfort, it's a decent proposition, this Himiway Cruiser. How have people been passing me? They've been pretty good, to be honest. We haven't had one issue with anyone. That's within 5 miles. What's that down to? Liverpool's drivers particularly good. Well, I think we've seen throughout the years with my fails, they're not particularly good, Liverpool's drivers, I don't think. So what's that down to? Is that my awareness? It's holding my position now. Don't want anyone to come past me. I'm going to go where the bus is going. I'm not going to go and sit next to the bus, but clearly showing people where I'm going. A few little sideways glances and peripheral vision checks. Let people know what's what. Try and do my utmost to keep things moving as normal. But if I have to go slow, I've got my throttle. The lights are going to change. One over to there, to the left-hand side. So, throttle slowly. It's nice and progressive. And then it builds you into, when it's on level, well, I'm on level 4 there. That's why it's shot off a little bit. Aware of people around. I am going to follow for low hill. Going to go ahead. Turn the wick up a little bit. I don't mind cycling in any of this, it's not a problem. Trying to, again, be mindful of gaps that I could probably fit into. Red ones, no good. So, stay in the middle of my lane and wait for a space. I'm on level 5, so I can shoot off and get going quickly when I need to. How many of you cyclists would have just gone there and then gone through the giveaway? No. You want to be treated like a car, ride your bike like a car. I'm not saying just pulling out and going whenever you want. I'm saying just operate it in the same position as you would do your motor and go to give way at the same sort of time, as long as you're not going to cause inconvenience. So here we go. I'm having a little creep, and the lacking assist gets me off and going. Net already, I'm doing 16 miles an hour. I'm going to stay in the middle of my lane. Space again. Keeping up with the flow of the traffic. Throttle assist didn't work then because I was over that 6 kilometers an hour. It's about 3.5 miles an hour. So turn the wick up. I'm going to keep the speed going. Got to be super careful now of this one behind. It's turning left. Is that one gonna cut in? That was a little bit close, but I can manage that. I can deal with that comfortably. And here we are, coming up to Liverpool University area. So staying in the middle of the lane. There's another lane that people can overtake. There's no reason whatsoever to be in secondary here. I'm doing 19 miles an hour. Pedal assist is finished. This is just me. I'm just being aware of people around me. Is this Mercedes coming back in? Yeah. Am I going to go and fight that? No. It's going in the cycle area anyway. So you can all see his plate in front. That's what, unfortunately, the education has got to do to change. Would you have gone and fought that situation and gone into that cycle box just because that's your right? It's not worth it. He's obviously that type of person. See what this fella does. These bikes are probably ideal for the delivery riders. Absolutely ideal, to be honest. 60 miles. We still haven't even gone down a bar on the charge yet, and I've done 6 miles all the way into the city centre. Now I'm going to continue riding and talking. The mindset of having to be at the front of the queue and must get in front is also rife and common in cyclists also. So past and gone, staying in the middle of my lane. Let's have a little look at this situation. Yeah, I'm just watching and slowing down the van. I am going to go into the cycle box this time. People are keeping out of it. I'm safer out here. He's just deciding to now ride across the pavement. He's out of cycle area though. There's one to the left. Anyway, concern yourself with yourself and do the right things yourself. Take pride in what you do. Simple as that. So a little bit further down, I am going to do a turn to the right. We'll go down past the other side of the university. Could you do your commute on bike? How much would that save you on the cost of fuel, cost of insurance, cost of operating a car? I've always said when I retire, I'd like to potentially move down to London. There's no in the world that I would have a car. I know you probably wouldn't do in London anyway. Is this one just going to force past? Yeah, doing 20 miles an hour. I am going to do a right turn at these lights. So yeah, I wouldn't have a car whatsoever. I would just either walk, public transport, or get on a bike. Like I said, there's been a few little things that people have done on my little ride into the city today, but it's not been too bad. Is it worth even going past? No. There's a vehicle turning right further in front of me that's going to be stuck in the middle of the junction waiting to turn right because of oncoming vehicles. So again, there's no point. How does this then, if you ride in this manner, come across to the car drivers? Totally different mindset that, like I said, it's lacking. We're all trying to get somewhere, but there's a big impatience shown by all road users, and impatience is probably the biggest issue and the biggest problem. So just keep an eye on things down the side. I've got limited space, the van behind's perfect distance. I'm already planning the gap. Don't even think we'll maybe even get through the lights. We might not even get through. There's a few vehicles turning. I'm going to put an early signal on. Hands back on. We're through the lights. Van's fine, road's fine, clear, and it handles quite nicely. The bike is lovely and stable on these big tyres as well. Fabulous. Again, I'm going to go down to the front. No chance. What's the point? Okay. So 18 miles an hour. No issues at all. You keep up with the flow of the traffic, honestly, you're less likely to cause issues for yourself. Yeah, she's okay. No problems, everyone's been seen. I am going to filter down to the front in this situation now. Careful of people walking. People filter past too quickly, way too quickly. So I'll filter when it's safe and when it's worth it. Make sure I'm seeing, anticipating the lights. But I'm always aware now of people needing to. Is he going to come out there? Yeah. Just accommodate then. You're going to turn left, so we go down the inside of him? No. Just watching people now. Narrows a little bit. Putting an early right signal on. Thank you. So, roadcraft. Roadcraft that different on a bike? Absolutely not. It's being aware of your surroundings, reading people, and making sure that you're able to manage everything that goes on. So, we're all good. Doing 20 miles an hour now, no pedal assist. It's easy downhill though. There we go, Radio City Tower out in front of us. That one shouldn't have turned in, I had to go on the brakes, a fair bit there. But just deal with it. People are like that. There are certain scenarios where people won't be able to get out of a junction unless they force the issue a little. And people don't understand it, people don't get it. So, got to let the pedestrians across. It's a junction, so there you go, my love. She's surprised I was going to let her across there. Okay. So, we're off and round to the right. And now I'm going to head down to the left. Don't get to go down here very often because cars aren't allowed down here and there's restrictions on motor vehicles, so I am going to head down there. 7.2 miles. I'm just going to turn my assistance down a bit because there's a little bit more control here. Is there bicycle storage where you work? Could you do this? Could you discard your car totally? It's something that I couldn't do. The business that I'm in, obviously with the driving school, it's not the only source of income that I've got, so no, I'm not car dependent. And I'm a big believer that we should all do a little bit more to try and put these cars away. So I am heading left again. I'm not going to go into the area. People behind know exactly what I'm doing. Let's go and have a little drive through the city. Ride through the city. Again, we've had no issues, none whatsoever. There we go. Central station on the left-hand side. It is nice to have a little ride through. Now, I'm not sure how long my camera's going to last out in front. Get through the city, and then we'll probably go and have a little look down near the Albert Dock, and then we'll tie this up. What I have found with this throttle to move away as well, that it doesn't create wobble. It's nice and smooth and balanced, and then you're away. So there's a nice little safety aspect with that as well. Just turn the wick up a little. Let's just make a little bit of progress. Careful of people overtaking the buses. They can't see me, so moving to secondary just to make sure gives me a little bit of safety behind the bus as well, just avoiding a pothole. Taxi here, just always being aware. This one's seeing me, looks that way, we're all good. Is it worth again pushing down to the front of the buses and putting myself in risk? No chance. Scooter riders taking up a good spot as well. All good. I know 1,700 quid is a fair price for a bike, especially in today's economic climate, and I've been massively lucky that Himiway have sent me this for nothing to do this review. That would be a big purchase, but if you operate a car, if you think a little bit of a lecky, if you do 60 miles, still haven't got down to anything bar from full bars of charge. He's going up on the pavement. Fair play for walking. Oh no, he's just let himself down. Anyway, it's what it is. But like I said, the cost and savings, I am just going to go ahead. We're all good. I think I've got to go left here. No entry except buses. Right, okay, let's go back round. We'll do a right turn and go back out the other way. See, don't cycle much in the city, but going back to what I was saying, the cost savings of operating a bike as opposed to a car. What type of money would you save? It is with the advent of these electric bikes, it is something that people could honestly, realistically do nowadays. How far do you travel on your commute? How much is parking on a daily basis? How much fuel do you use? How much is your insurance? Car payments. Honestly, cars are ridiculously expensive nowadays. And this is all without going on the eco side of things. There's obviously a charging cost, although it's going to be really, really small. But there's obviously going to be a charging cost of charging these things. But honestly, it's going to be minuscule compared to the cost of operating these vehicles. So I'm going to put a little right signal on for the bus driver behind me. We're all good. So I'm going to have a little ride down in front of the Albert Dock. Not sure where this one's going, so I'm just going to get next to them so I can positively be seen. But the road does narrow a little touch further up, so I'm just being super aware of this. Change how quickly you move off to suit risk. There is some new infrastructure a little bit further up that we'll go and have a little go at as well, just quickly. And it's good infrastructure as well. What's going on with this one? Oh, she's holding back. That's okay. Thank you. So yeah, there's some good infrastructure a little bit further up. Where's she going? So just operating to my right. That's okay. Again, just operating my bike like a car, staying in a car position, because at these city speeds, honestly, especially on this thing, you're as quick as a car. Liverpool isn't a very cycle-centric city. I know we've got one over there, but honestly, the people who generally use the bikes, I need to lane change, so I'm just going to find my way across. Thank you. Where should I go with this lorry? So I am next to him. I can see him. However, the position that I'm going to take up is what, as he just showed a little bit of intention of movement. Well, that's fine. So watch what I do. Give him a little thumbs up and stay behind him throughout his turn. Not a problem. So here we are, coming up to the main waterfront, Albert Dock to my left, and we've got liver buildings out in front, and this is where the new piece of cycling infrastructure starts. So I am going to just pop it up. Okay. Have these guys see me. So before my cameras run out, I'm going to turn this speed down a little bit. There's too many risks of pedestrians in this situation, so I'm just going to wind it down a little bit. But this is a good piece of cycling infrastructure. It's totally separate of the roads. It's not possible everywhere though. This is taking a fair bit of effort and time to get right. Cities are getting better, but honestly, if you come away from these cycling or pieces of cycling infrastructure and then have to mix it with the traffic, if you're not skilled in the way that I've hopefully shown on that most of the video that I've just done, if you're not skilled in those ways, honestly, you're going to come a cropper. So we can't have these lovely free pieces of cycle infrastructure. There's always a conflict somewhere down the line. Seen one recently of a bus stop being placed the other side of a cycle area and a zebra crossing, walking across the road, and then cyclists just careering through, and there's always going to be some conflict somewhere down the line. So effectively what you've got to do is just improve your skills, be conscious of everyone around, and honestly just try and share the roads, because there's not enough of it. So as I pass the Liver building, we will wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning in. Another one of my Ride Like a Driving Instructor series. Please support my sponsors, because that supports me and my channel as well. And I love doing these videos. I love the effect that it can have in improving road safety. So thank you so much all for your support. Liver building behind me, and I'll see you soon.